Can you hear me?
I can absolutely hear
Okay,
you.
good.
Hi, how are you? I thought you was trying to pull a Teddy Riley on me.
No, this is some new stuff for me. I was born in
Absolutely.
1956. They didn't have phones and televisions. They just had televisions when I was born and I was young. No,
Listen, no.
it seems like for some reason this happened to me the other day. When I come
Mhm.
back, I go out and come back in, then it
Okay.
triggers the audio. So how are you?
Okay. All right. Now look, you trying to don't try to act old talking about they only had televisions. Listen, I was raised by my great grandmother, and you remember back in the day when you had to put aluminum foil on the antennas to get a good signal?
No, I was born before the aluminum foil.
Okay. I was trying.
No, I remember. No, I remember all of that.
Well, it is a pleasure to talk to you today. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I was telling my audience before you came on that every single time that I've had the opportunity to run into you at events in Atlanta or just different things, you are always so gracious and so kind and so welcoming every single time I meet you. So I appreciate that because that does not happen often,
Well,
you know.
I'm sure that my teachers and my mentors and my sister who raised me and my dad and my aunties would all be appreciative of that comment. It's a tough business to
Mhm.
there's so many things in this business that can go to your head, from
Yeah.
making money to the kind of attention that you get to the lifestyle
Mhm.
that you can live because of all the extras that happen
Yeah.
if you make it in this business. So I'm just every day I get up, I pray and I meditate and try to stay humble. And I've had my moments, and trust me, I'm still learning and growing. So thank you for that.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm very appreciative to you. And one of the things that I definitely wanted to start out discussing is your incredible career in film and television. I was running through your receipts and, I'm like, okay, let me prepare because I'm talking to Mr. Clifton Powell. So I'm like, well, let me go ahead and prepare. And I started going through your like filmography. Dude, like I know that you are always working, but I literally just to see it on all together, you have an amazing, you're an icon, and I'm going to tell you, you are an icon, and when you pop up in a film, it's real.
Well,
You
I certainly appreciate that. Again, this is it's been such a whimsical journey,
Yeah.
and I'm still learning and growing in so many areas in my personal life, and um, that I've just tried to stay the course. I
Hmm.
didn't have a plan when I first started. I tell everybody that knows my story, I really wanted to be a football player, and not
Wow.
exactly sure how I got into acting, um, but I think it chose me, and then I fell in love with the art, and I
Hmm.
never had a real plan. So I oftentimes get a lot of flack for, well, he's in every little C-list, B-list movie. A lot of times, they're my friends or
Hmm.
friends of friends or family members or somebody I went to high school with.
Right.
And so what happens when you start ascending in this business, you get to a point where you're disconnected on a lot of levels from your people,
Yes.
from your
Hmm.
people. I mean, things are changing. The Hollywood that you guys see now, that wasn't the Hollywood I came up in. To see
Wow.
African American dramas on television, to see
Hmm.
dark skinned black people on television, to see women with dreads and guys with
Yes.
dreads, that never
Hmm.
happened in my day.
Right.
And there was never a black drama that lasted more than 5 episodes back in my day. So
Hmm.
it's a new day. And so what people don't understand is when you start making it on a certain level, you just live in your own world, in your own bubble, which in my day, there are no black people there, one or two
Right.
black executives. And so if you go stay on your bubble and don't reach back, you get criticized. If you reach back and do some C-list, B-list stuff, you get criticized. So I've run the gamut, and it does bother me because
Hmm.
I came up in the 60s, and my teachers taught me that I had to reach back and try to help,
Yes.
other African Americans, male, female, women, Latinos, Asians, help people, but especially black folks. So
Right.
it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. So
It is, but now that you've pointed that out, I actually thought about that because I guess I had the same line of thinking that you had. So I never said, why is, Clifton in this film? Because I would think about it and I would look at the film and I said, you know what? He is the draw of this film. And, for some films that are quote unquote, for lack of a better term, maybe not a bigger budget film, or, maybe an independent film, you are the draw and you're helping boost that film by bringing your star power to it. So I would never look at that as you going backwards,
Yeah, I
but
mean, I did a movie with a guy, and I'm not going to say his name, out of Detroit, and he was at a conference for filmmakers.
mhm,
Somebody stood up and said, I can't stand Clifton Powell. He does the SHIs of the idiots of the movies. And this guy stood up, was one of my partners, and said, hey, if it wasn't for Mr. Powell, I wouldn't be sitting here because he barely took a salary to do my movie. It's because I believe in what
right.
he was trying to do. So, when you make it to a certain level in this business, they talk about you on so many different levels. You just
Yes.
have to have
Hmm.
Teflon skin. So, you
Yeah,
know, that goes along with everything else they say about me. And a lot of times it's when you hear a story, it's four sides to every story. And
absolutely.
and from your personal life to your intimate life to your political life to your film career or your television career,
Hmm.
there's always somebody that has something to say. And
Yeah.
most of the time, it's people listening to somebody that doesn't really know you,
Yes.
or somebody hating, because they haven't done their research. Several times on my IG page, I've had to change it and say, don't come to my page with a bunch of nonsense or I'm blocking you. So one lady
Yes.
came on and she said, I can't stand shit he does. He's the worst. Excuse my language, but I got to
You
give it
good.
to you all real.
You good.
And
Hmm.
I text her back and I said, why don't you Google my resume and do your research and stop making ignorant comments? Because what
Yes.
happens with African American performers is that there's memes going around. These five actors right here, I wouldn't trust them in real life.
Yes, I've
Now,
seen
I
that.
have never seen a meme go around with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Joe
Hmm.
Pesci, who's my guy.
Hmm.
Joe Joe Pesci beat up so many people in the movies. I want to be Joe just to give him a hug, man. And but
You're
what
right.
happens with African American
Yeah.
performers is, especially when you play tough guys,
Hmm.
you have to be like that. That's how you really are in real life, as opposed to people saying these actors right here are so trained that they make the roles look believable.
Yes.
I've never been arrested, never been in trouble all my life. I've been
Yeah.
on the right side of right. I'm an actor. I'm a trained actor. And
Yes.
if people know my story, they'll know, the people that do know my story, I was the worst actor in my program,
Wow.
period. But we're not going to get
Wow.
into that because that's a long
This
story,
is
you know.
okay.
And so I'm sitting here with my girl Marquita, and she could tell you some sides of me that people haven't seen, So
Right.
I'm going to say this. She's, somebody commented about me being older than her. Well, I'm going to say this publicly. She's probably way more mature than any woman I've ever dated, and
Right.
she's way more mature than I am. You know,
Mm.
I try to
Yeah.
tell some of my relatives, my nieces who are dating, a lot of times men don't get instruction.
Yes.
And it's
That's true.
systematically, we want to talk about systematic racism. They systematically took black men out of the homes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm just blessed that I made it this far, because if you were at my house and you had to talk to her, she'll be like, woo, okay. I know y'all see this little nigga on TV, but he's a piece of work. And guess what?
Yes.
She's telling the truth.
Right.
And part of growing is owning that you don't know. So,
Absolutely. Hmm.
when you get to it, and I'm gonna stop here because there's a lot of information, but when you get to the next level, you got to have a tough skin, because people coming for you. It's really crazy,
Yes.
So
And and I never understood why someone would actually go out of their way. And I actually, when I'm, I follow you on social media, and I saw the disclaimer, and I was like, yes, sir, yes, sir. You let people know from the gate, don't bring that foolishness in here because I'm not tolerating it.
yeah.
And I just don't understand why we are so hard on the people in our community who love us the most, and we just go right to the page and say something ignorant. If I don't like something, I'm not going to give my energy to it at all.
Well, let's address that. Let's address that. You know, with all the racial things that are going on in the climate
Hmm.
today, people want us to forget about slavery.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you what slavery did. It split us up. It did a lot of bad, bad, bad things to us. But
Yes.
it pit dark-skinned blacks against light-skinned blacks.
Mm-hmm.
The light-skinned blacks were created by the slave masters, raping
Mm-hmm.
our women,
Yep.
and systematically broke our men. I was telling everybody about this thing called buck breaking. Look it up
Okay.
if you don't know what it is. Buck
Right.
breaking is one of the worst things that's ever happened in slavery, along with tar and feathering and raping our
Mm-hmm.
women and killing the babies. Black men in this culture, dark-skinned black people, hate.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up, they call me every black name you could think of.
Mm-hmm.
And innately it has not changed 100%. We still have, not all of us, the crabs in the barrel syndrome.
Yes.
And we have to all be careful. I made a
Mm-hmm.
comment about Spike Lee. I wish I could go back. I got on him because he got on Tyler Perry. And then
Yeah.
it made me
Yeah.
seem like I was a crab in a barrel. I
I
had more
understand.
I had more information. And
Mm-hmm.
since I'm talking about that, Spike has since gone to Tyler and they've
Yes.
worked it out and have apologized. And
Yes.
so we are the victims of PTSD of
Mm-hmm.
400 years of slavery. And it's still
Absolutely.
happening right now. So
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of the racial tone right now,
Yes.
Black lives do matter. But
Absolutely.
we as African Americans, and even myself personally, we have to step back and take an assessment of ourselves today and start treating
Mm-hmm.
each other with a little bit more respect.
Yeah.
And I said
Absolutely.
myself included. So don't give me
Yes.
no comments to my IG page.
Yes. No, no, no.
I'm gonna block y'all.
He
Shut
gonna
up.
block you.
I'm gonna block you.
But no, and I absolutely agree. You wrote something on your Instagram page that I found very powerful. And it was a message, just about us waking up and letting the non-Black communities know, like, it's over. Like your time of keeping us oppressed is over. Your time of the police brutality, like, we're done with it. We're over. We're no longer taking and standing back and allowing these things that just continue to happen over and over again. The Black Lives Matter movement, I consider it a shift, because this time and I don't know, I feel like I kind of know what's different about this time, because we've been here before, but just not in this magnitude, with this type of traction, with this type of, and I think it may be because, everyone is really paying attention. COVID-19, the pandemic, has quieted us a lot. And, I go through my hustle and bustle of everyday work, but because of the pandemic, now I'm slowed down and I'm more focused and I'm paying attention to what's going on and what's going on around me. So now with this Black Lives Matter movement, everyone is paying attention. And it's almost like it's more of a laser focus. And I don't know if you agree with that or not, but it's more of a laser focus. And like, we are focused. And now I see changes coming about every day. You see all these brands and stuff jumping out. Oh, now everybody love Black lives all of a sudden. But okay, that's cool if that's what y'all want to do. But we're going to keep that same energy a month, a year, decades from now, because we're going to keep our foot on your necks. And I feel like we have, we always say, once the Black community realizes our power, things going to change. And I feel like that's happening right now. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like, there is really going to be a change coming out of everything that's going on right now?
I think we're seeing some small changes. I think what I was saying on my page is that racist white America,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, let me say this. Racism is not a Black issue. It's not an African American issue.
Never
It's
been.
a white person's, racist white people issue. And it's
Mm-hmm.
white people's issue.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't learn, Dr. King, I played Dr. King in Selma, Lord Selma, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 97. And Dr. King succinctly said that if we don't learn to live together as brothers, we will perish together as fools. So white people in America, the good white folks,
Mm-hmm.
my daughter-in-law is white, my niece is white, my grandkids are biracial, and I was raised to see people and not a person's color,
Mm-hmm.
and of course you see somebody's color, but because you might be white doesn't mean I'm gonna treat you any differently unless you're disrespectful. I've
Right.
learned to respect people. What white America needs to understand is that something that white America needs to stand up and say, no more. police brutality, everything that we're seeing. Now, white people, there are a faction of white people that are ready and are just as tired as we are. And America, racist white America, better do your research. These new millennials are not, they didn't march with Dr. They barely remember Dr. King.
Right.
They don't remember the 60s for the most part.
No.
They're not having it. And the wonderful thing about it, and I said this the other day in an interview, is that the focus is on America and racism around not just the country, but around the world.
The world.
It's never happened. I know I love Dr. King. He was the greatest, one of the greatest freedom fighters in the history of the world.
Right.
But with the advent of social media, man, if King had been around today, man, you know, white people would probably go back to Africa. Shut up. That was a joke. Shut up. Don't text me on my DMs talking about you making fun of white people going back to Africa. They ain't come from Africa. Everybody came from Africa. Do your research. White people came from Africa. They just spread out and lost the melanin and became. The part of it is they ain't teach us a damn thing. So what I'm saying in essence is, time is now.
Yes.
White racist America, get ready, because your daughters, your little nieces, they are not having it. They're not having it. The marches are diverse. They're all around the world. I've never, and I grew up in the 60s and in the riots in DC when they killed Dr. King. It has never been like this in the history of time.
Yes.
So if you are white racist, get ready. And if I were you, I'd just move the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And take your hate with you.
Take it with you.
I'm going to tell you something about me. I don't take no shit. And I'm going to say it just like this for any one of you racist white supremacists that are listening to me. I don't take no shit from white boys at all. Period. End of discussion. And I grew up in Washington, D.C., and I give everyone love and I give everyone respect. I have traveled. I've been racially profiled. I remember I was on a first-class flight. I'm the only black guy, a dark-skinned black guy, get followed around the store. I got racially profiled in H&M. And I was appalled. I was appalled because I'm saying to myself, are y'all serious? Not because I'm Clifton Powell, but damn it, everything in H&M is $20.
Exactly.
If I really, really start stealing out of stores, I'm going right to Gucci, Saks Fifth Avenue, give me some $9,000 purses.
Right.
And a lady came over and said, empty your bag. I'm like, ma'am, let me just say this to you. Call the police, because I'm not emptying my bag. And the black people are looking at her like, don't y'all know who this Pinky? Shut up. And people like shouting Pinky in the line. It's so debilitating. Wow.
It is.
It's debilitating. It's debilitating to a point where it robs your internal everything. And so I am when I travel, when I work on my sets, I don't play any of the isms. Any of the isms. And I was traveling first class. I have a lot of stories about this, but I'm gonna just touch on one. Yeah. And I you know, I came on first class, you know, I'm always cool and dressed, you know, properly. And I recline my seat, you know, so I could take a nap. This white boy kicked my seat with his leg. He just bam. And I stood up and I went to him. I stood up and I went in his face and I said, would you have kicked my seat if I had been a white boy? Wow. Just out of nowhere. I said, kick my seat again and I'm going to bust you right in your effing face. Yep. And he turned pink and I sat back down. I've had things happen to me on movie sets. So one of the things that I'm going to say to African Americans out there, stop taking this shit, man. Yes. All these Karens, snatch their ass up. I'm just telling you. I don't understand. Whoever you want to send to my house, if they put their hands on you, snatch their asses up. Yes. If they keep harassing you, get you an attorney and press charges. The time for this shit is over, man. It's over. And I'm not going back and forth with nobody. I didn't grow up with it. So and my girl will tell you, I have a hard time taking it. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is I was raised, and I want to get back to community-based policing. Yes. Because in my day, you knew the police officers in your community, and we respect. Yes. So respect has to be on both sides. But what we're seeing right now is a blatant disregard for respect. You know? Disregard for life. for
for
life.
Black, just life.
That kid,
Life.
the young kid that died last couple of weeks ago in Atlanta, that
Mhm.
was easy police work.
Easy.
Anybody that falls asleep in a damn Wendy's drive-through ain't gonna bother nobody. Let him
Yes.
park his car,
And
send a friend, let him
he
get a
even,
Uber, drive him home like you did Dylan Roof, stop him at a
thank
Wendy's,
you.
stop
I'm
him,
getting
get
some
a
Burger
soda,
King.
something, a Burger King, and let him go home. That was,
He
and
offered to
he,
walk. He
yes,
offered
and
to
even
walk.
when he ran, you knew that he didn't have a gun. He was no threat, and the crime didn't fit the punishment. The
Not at
guy
all.
was drunk, and he fell asleep.
Not at
And
all.
you could tell he was a rational, educated young man.
Yes.
And when he ran, what they should have done, it should have never gotten to that place, but they should have let him go. And then if you want to rearrest him, because even if he had gone to jail, he wasn't in his car driving. It's
Yes.
it's just how they treat African Americans. And maybe
Absolutely.
and it's a lot of good police officers. I have friends with police officers. So I understand it's a tough job.
Mm-hmm.
Police need more training. We need to go
Yes.
back to community-based policing,
Mm-hmm.
defunding if we have to, and put some of that money back in the neighborhoods. There needs to be
Yes.
a plethora of job training. We need to give African-American single moms more daycare help, more. There needs to be,
Yes.
I think they're talking about a payment,
Mm-hmm.
around the year payment for
Oh yeah.
households. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
people don't want this. White people, some of the white people don't want it. They tired
No.
of Karens and Kevins too. So
Yeah.
this thing is really intense.
It is.
And I just want to say to white America that believe in love, stand up. I don't care if
Yes.
your family deserts you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if all your white friends don't talk to you. Like Dr. King said, black people, all we're asking for you to do, and I would do it in my Dr. King voice,
Do
but I can't
please
get it
do.
together.
Please do.
All we're saying to you, America,
Yes.
is do what you said on paper.
That's right.
All we're saying to America is be true to what you said on paper.
To
That's
what you
all
said
we're
on
talking
paper.
about.
That's all.
And now we find out that most of the writers in the Constitution were slave owners. I mean,
How
if they
about
taught us
that?
that in high school, we'd really be messed up. So
How about
anyway,
that?
this is stuff that I pray.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the new millennials.
I am too.
I pray that we can find some sort of closure as this thing unwinds and
Yeah.
unravels and finds an end. But
Mm-hmm.
white America, racist white America, is on notice. And let me
They
say
are.
this. I'm gonna say one last thing.
Okay.
My grandkids are as white as Donald Trump. Well, not as white, but they're very bright.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna lie, I do look like they driver. Shut up. That was a joke. So I was at the theater in DC, where I'm from, and I was coming
Yeah.
out of the Warner Theater
Okay.
with my two grandkids. And some black girls were in a car in the curb. And they said, "Hey, Mr. Powell, we love the show. Who are those kids?" I said, "These are my grandkids." And one of the girls, black girl, leaned out the window and said, "They're the wrong color, aren't they?" And I, for the life of me, was at a loss for words. So we have to be very, very careful here not to condemn all white folks. And we have to weed out some of the African Americans who are still dealing with color issues.
Mm.
We have to stop it, man. And it's coming to an
Yes.
end, and it's going to end whether you like it or not, by any means necessary.
Absolutely.
Woo,
She lucky.
child, I need a glass of wine now, child.
Listen, while you playing, I'm getting ready. Me and Captain Morgan about to.
Woo! I need me some hot sake.
Me and Captain Morgan sing.
Man, I
But
tell
you know, yeah, yeah. COVID-19, because I know you as an actor, as an entertainer, very, very busy and hectic schedule. And then March, you know, we heard some tricklings in January, we heard some tricklings in February, but March, that's when they rang the alarm, shut everything down. How has it been for you? Because now we are still in the pandemic, even though some folks forgot or some folks decided on Memorial Day that it was over. Some of your cousins decided on Memorial Day the pandemic was over.
Well, let me address that. As you can see, I'm growing a beard. I haven't shaved in probably about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm doing saints and sinners as this thing winds down. So this thing's going to be black. But let me say this, you know, I don't know all the things going on in this new world order and some of the theories that I'm hearing. I know personally people who have COVID-19, who've had it, and it's a real virus.
Yeah.
This has never happened in my lifetime where everything came to a grinding halt. Everybody's money is stopped. So, you know, my friends, they check with me. So, Cliff, how you doing? I know you, all the movies you make, I know you just be rolling in money. No, my money stopped too, you know, but thank God I've done enough work that, you know, I'm okay. You know, I have a very expensive lifestyle, you know. My overhead is $100,000 a year, period. And that means you got to make at least $100,000 or more to live on the level that I live on. But I am so grateful because in '93, I told my manager I never even wanted to make any money. I just wanted to act. And she said, well, I think you're in the wrong business. I want to make money. So what I'm saying is that we got to continue to be there for each other.
Yes.
We got to wake up and meditate and pray to whatever gods you pray to in the morning. You got to exercise. You got to eat right. You got to take care of your mental.
Yes, as well. Yes.
There's a part of me, because you all are seeing me work a plethora of work in the last 15 years or 20 years, but you all didn't see the 20 years of unemployment before I became Clifton.
How about that?
So I'm used to long periods of inactivity. And so I handle it a little differently. I don't know what other artists do, but you know, I basically plan out my day, even if I have nothing to do.
Yes.
I might say, okay, today I'm going to do some reading. So you got to keep yourself moving, because honestly, the Spanish flu, the first wave took, I think they said 3 to 5 million people. The second wave, do your research. The second wave took 20 to 50 million people. This thing is really real. And if we don't proceed with caution, a lot of people are going to die. And we have to, and I know it's hard for people to wear masks all the time, and I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you I'm 64. I have food-related allergies and asthma, and I have to be very, very careful, you know?
Yes.
So I would suggest that people probably stay out of bars and big, heavy restaurants and heavy groups, because if this thing starts up again like it's doing, they're going to shut the whole country down again. Again. So.
Do you feel like they opened prematurely? They started opening things back up a little too early. Do you feel like that?
Well, I think a lot of it is economics.
Yeah.
This has never happened before.
Yeah.
And I don't think there was now I understand Obama might have had a plan, but Trump threw it out the window.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, because it's never happened in the history of the world where the entire world's economy stopped.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the virus, but we have to talk about the economy. So I can't gauge. I know that the stimulus checks for $1,200 don't help most people. You know,
that was some people's mortgage.
Yeah. So I think it's really tricky.
It is.
You know, and I think you got to be careful, because to open the economy back up and not worry about people's lives, it's a real tricky slope. So I'm not going to really address that question, because I don't know. You know, I know I want to get back to work. You know, I got a slew of financial things that I wanted to do this year. You know, movies that I want to produce.
Right.
I'm writing a movie. Well, my son is rewriting a movie. I'm trying to take care of his. You know, he told me, Dad, you got to pay me like a real writer. So I got to send him his $5,000 and, you know, things that I had planned to do. You know, that have been put on hold. So I think if we don't be careful, though, the country might shut down again, and that would be a problem.
Yes, absolutely. So before you came on, I was talking to some of my ICC friends and just getting them ready to see you. And I was asking them like some of their favorite roles for you. And of course, you know, we always get the classics and so on and so forth. But for you, I want to ask you, Mr. Clifton Powell, the Clifton Powell, what are your top 3 personal favorite roles that you have done throughout your illustrious career?
I would start off by saying to play such an iconic figure as a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is got to be the highlight anybody's career.
Mm-hmm.
He was an amazing man. And there's a book that everybody has to read called The FBI and Dr. King. If you really understood the threat of death that he lived under almost every day.
Every day.
The
Yeah.
FBI, if Dr. King came to Atlanta to do a march, the FBI had been here a whole week.
Preparing.
Preparing him. They followed him everywhere. I just found out that his photographer was an informant. If you look at one of the pictures of him on the balcony, one of those guys is an FBI informant. It's all documented. You got to go read it. And so portraying a character like Dr. King, and what people don't understand is that when I named these 3 movies, I was the last choice. Wow. With the exception of Ray. And I'm going to tell you what happened with Ray. Okay. So when I went in for Dr. King, Reuben Cannon, who casted Selma, Lord Selma, who casted me in Why Do Fools Fall in Love, Women Are Loosed, and Buffalo Soldiers. And Reuben said, hey, Cliff, I'm not exactly sure how your picture got on my desk. You play a lot of tough guys, don't you? I said, yeah, but I want to play Dr. King. He said, well, Cliff, I think they have a star name for that, a bigger star. I said, well, you know, let me just read it, Rube. He said, Cliff, I don't know if they're going to want to see you, man. So the producers are in the session. And so when they came out, Rube said, I have Clifton Powell. They had no idea. The producers didn't know who I was. Okay. And so Rube said, hey, man, let this guy read. He said he's prepared. I stayed up the night, just so young entertainers understand. Wow. I stayed up the whole night watching Eyes on the Prize. Wow. I woke up the next morning. I took a nap around 9 o'clock that morning. My audition was at 3. Okay. My ex-wife helped me shape my mustache like Dr. King's. I went to a thrift store and bought one of those old vintage suits and a tie. Yes. Come on, preparation. Oh, yeah. It's all preparation, opportunity meeting preparation. That's right. And I went in and I asked them if I could do Dr. King's last speech. And they said, well, be honest, sir, we have a star name in mind. And so when I did it, they sat there and I did. Let me give a little bit. Now, it doesn't matter what happens now. We've got some difficult days ahead. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. And so as I finished, they just sat there and said, you know what? You're going to be king, but let's figure it out. And just so you understand why this is my favorite movie, and I'm going to say it, I've never said this publicly, but I'm going to say it now. Disney did not want me. So my manager called me and said, Disney doesn't want to pay your quote. And I said, well, F Disney. Back in the day. This was Disney back then. That's why I am so overjoyed about what's happening in entertainment. Yes. With women, with men, with dark-skinned Black actors, light-skinned Asians, handicapped people, all Daryl Children playing a character who he's in a wheelchair, man. That would have never happened back in our day. Right. It's opening up, guys. Women, Black of color, white, Black. A lot of these women are reaching back and grabbing other women. And I mean, it's opening up, man. It's amazing. Panther just killed the game. Oh, didn't it? Power. They never had, Queen Sugar. So Disney said, we're not going to pay his quote. So I called my manager. I said, I'm not doing it. She called me back and she said, let me tell you something, little fella. You're doing this damn movie. You're playing Dr. King. It's a huge movie. That's right. And so what happened was, and I'm telling people this because I want you guys out, ladies and gentlemen out there, to understand the struggle that I've been through to stay connected to this business. And I'm going to do a one-man show and I'm going to talk about it, but you'll hear it here first. Yes. So finally I said, okay. So now my salary at the time was like $15,000 a week. Disney said, we're only giving them $6,000 and no trailer. So the producers basically gave me their stuff. So when I got there, Charles Burnett, I never forget, was directing. And Charlie came to me one day after about the 3rd day. He said, hey, man, he's such a nice guy, very gentle. He said, Disney is not happy with your performance. And then I said, F Disney again. He said, okay, Cliff, now bring that down. Bring that down. I tell you what we're going to do. He says, listen, I'm in a quandary too. They don't even want to see any blood on Bloody Sunday. Wait a minute, what? He said directing, he said they don't want to see any blood on Bloody Sunday.
Okay.
So we have to understand they control our narratives.
They do.
And that's
They do.
changing. That's changing as we
Yes.
get more into distribution, get more into producing and directing and being
Yes.
executives. We need it. We need it.
We
People of
do.
color. So
We do.
now I said, F Disney again. He says, no, we're not going to do that. This is what we're going to do. Just so when you watch the movie, you understand.
Right. You have
He
that
said,
context.
we're going to do all the sermons 3 ways. We're going to do it the Disney way. We're going to do it your way. And we're going to do it my way as a director. And that's how, so when you see it, you see one sermon, but I had to, every one of those sermons, I had to do 3 different ways. So it's some of the things that I went through. So that movie is indelible in my brain as a journey of playing a man such as Dr. King. But I want the young people to know, be prepared, because they can't stop you if you're prepared.
No, they can't.
You understand?
Preparation.
Now, the next movie I would say, of course, all the Friday movies are just the funnest stuff ever. Working with Ice Cube, who's a genius, Mike Epps, who's a genius, and a whole cast. Oh man, it was amazing. And I think they had a star name, a bigger star, maybe I think a white guy in mind for Pinky. And Kim Harton said, "Why don't y'all try Cliff Powell? Now, let me help you guys with Pinky."
Oh my gosh, I'm loving this.
Now, Ice Cube saw me in Dead Presidents and told one of my friends, he said, "Who's that guy named that played Cuddy in the movie?"
Cuddy, yeah.
So that's how I met Cube. We had the meeting, they hired me, and so I had on all the pink, and I was in the record shop, and me and Cube directed that scene, and I wasn't getting it.
Oh, okay.
So after about, one of the things that happen on movie sets, after about 5 or 6 times, they basically fire your butt, and they don't tell you until tomorrow morning.
Right.
So I knew we'd done it like 8 times. I knew I only had a couple more times. So I looked at Cube, but he's very quiet. So I looked at him, and I'm thinking about all my bills because I was poor. I was like, I got to pay my car note, my Ford Festiva, and I got my rent.
You said my Ford Festiva. I know that's right.
Food stamps. I gotta get my I don't know if my unemployment check gonna come. So I'm thinking, Cube, whatever. So I said, Cube, why don't you take the gun and show me what you're trying to do? And he took it and he said, I'm gonna blow your head smooth off. And I did a movie a few years earlier called The Breaks. So I grabbed the gun and I said, I'll blow your head smooth off. And I start jumping around. Say it again. Oh, shot. Now, to the young people out there, where did that come from? That comes from my preparation and my improvisational skills that I learned, as I trained. That's how I got Next Friday, which, Friday after next. Now, the last movie is Ray.
Ray, yes.
I ran into Jamie Foxx, Mark Curry, Chris Tucker, and I all lived in the same building when we were coming up.
Oh, wow.
In LA. And so I ran into Jamie as Jamie was moving up. He says, I got a movie, Cliff Powell, I'm bringing you in for. So anyway, make a long story short, I read for Ray and I start crying in an audition. Wow. So I got a call from my agent and they said they felt like you were nervous and I don't think you're going to get the part. And I said, that's not true. I thought I did a great job.
Yeah.
So I did something I've never done before. I called Jamie Foxx and I got him on the phone and I said, Jamie, they said I was nervous and moving the papers. He said, F that, Cliff Powell. You killed that stuff. I'm trying not to curse.
Yes.
So I was told that Jamie Foxx stood up in a meeting in the room and said, why has Cliff Powell not been hired?
Wow.
They said, well, we thought he was nervous. He's too old. He said, he's not too damn old.
No, he's not.
And the rest is history. So first, I always take my hat off to Jamie, who's one of the most brilliant actors, singer, musicians, rapper, talkers, whatever. Jamie's everything. And Jamie can imitate people. And so that movie is really dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Did not know we were making history. Of course, Jamie won an Academy Award. We got nominated. But that's the struggle.
Yeah.
And one thing I want people to know before I stop. My father used to always say to me, all you need is faith the size of a mustard seed. And I'm just so grateful to you all who've supported me over the years. Do your training, get your training, have faith, get your talent assessed, be nice to people. Yeah. And don't stop.
Don't stop. And look, and I'm all the background. but I absolutely love it. And because now that we've gotten that morsels, you know, those morsels and those gems, those behind the scenes gems, when we watch now, it's going to sit different. It's going to hit, you know, the young people say it's going to hit
It's
different.
gonna hit different.
It's going to hit different when we watch it now, because now I can watch it with new eyes, knowing the stories behind it.
Yeah.
And it's just another testament to what an amazing actor that you are, you know, going in and having to do one scene 3 different ways, you know. And it also kind of feels like how it is to be in the celebrity spotlight. You know, you can't please everybody. You know, you just have to do it your way, and they might want you to do it these other ways, but at the end, the right way will always come forward. And we sincerely love you.
I think the underlying thing I like to say to everybody, especially my artists out there, Black, white, Latino, Asian, straight, transgender, gay, it doesn't matter. My manager, who I loved dearly back in the day, Cheryl Levine, Rochelle Levine, everybody know Brian Robbins, the director Brian Robbins, who's on Saved by the Bell. His mother and his grandmother were my agents and managers.
Oh, wow.
And I remember I had a big audition when I first started, and I came in her office. I said, "Oh my God, the guy's gonna hire me." She says, "Clifton, you probably won't get that role." I said, "But he told me in the office." He was so excited. She said, "Yeah, don't believe the hype, and always do the work. Just do the work. Don't get caught up. Just do the work." And all I've tried to do over the years, no matter what level of movie it is just give it 100%. Do my research, do my preparation, and do the training. You know, that it's very simple, and that's all I've tried to do. So I am so grateful to everyone out there, every nationality who supported me. That I'm still in the game at this point in my life. So, and it's been a journey.
You are truly an inspiration, you know, and it's just from the outside. I'm very blessed to have this opportunity to talk to you, because I've been watching your career, you know, over the years, and just in the different films and television. And I'm just like, he always delivers. He always delivers. But to have the opportunity to sit down and talk to you, and to hear these behind the scenes stories, and just to see, you know, even when you talk about these roles, you can see your passion for your art and your craft, you know, just come through even in your dialogue and talking about the different roles and things that you've had. And I mean, we talked a lot about your films, but you're still killing it on television on a regular basis. We're talking about Saints and Sinners, like come through, Mr. Rex.
And for all of y'all haven't seen, and I'm gonna get ready to talk about Saints and Sinners, but go, because I get a lot of flack again from people that don't do their research. Oh, he's always a bad guy. He's always this. Do your research, man, and Google my resume. I played cops. I played a cop on Martin. It's been so long ago. A lot of y'all probably was just like 1 or 2 years old. You know, I played doctors. I played lawyers. I played fathers. But I'm playing a pastor on Black Lightning. I played a pastor in the gospel. Go watch Black Lightning. Pull up season 1, 2, and 3, man. And then it's kind of weird when you can play a pastor on one channel and then play Cuddy or play Pinky, and then go in and play Rex Fisher, who is Rex Fisher, man. I tell you, I don't know how many people saw The Under Shepherd, but if you haven't, go see Russ Parr's The Under Shepherd, because The Under Shepherd, Saints and Sinners is kind of pulled from The Under Shepherd. And then The Under Shepherd, I played a pastor who couldn't preach, and then they flipped it and made me the tough guy and brought in my man Richard Lawson to play the pastor. And so we had season 1, we had some great scenes together. You know, the weird thing about me is, like I said, I've never been in trouble, never been arrested. I don't fight. I have, you know, if you talk to my girl, I got a little bit of a tough temper, and trust me, she's working on all of that, being patient with me. But I have more fun playing guys like Rex. Like Pinky, that Pinky stuff, that came easy because I'm just a goofy guy. If you know. Shut up.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm back. Shut up.
I got you.
All right, so that's my little Richard. Oh man, why do fools fall in love though? I gotta give a shout out. God rest your soul, little Richard, the funniest guy I've ever worked with. Rex Fisher is hard for me because I would never in my personal life do some of the things that Rex does. So it helps me tap into my training a lot more to play Rex.
Yes, absolutely. And I've had a lot of questions. I do know that Bounce is now running Saints and Sinners on Sunday nights,
Okay.
and they're giving us 2 doses. So that is cool. So if you guys are not familiar with Saints and Sinners, or if you behind the curve and you need to catch up, you can do it every Sunday night on Bounce TV.
Yeah.
But you know, it's so funny. Some of my ICC friends came in and they were like, "When Saints and Sinners coming back?" When? And I'm like, "Y'all, like we in a pandemic, like, you know." And I know you mentioned it. Have you guys tried to start trying to figure
No,
out
we
how
haven't
to
started.
film? Okay.
We're gonna come back. I'm not exactly sure what the target date is, so I'm not going to say
Okay.
it on air.
Yeah.
We're coming
Yeah.
back, and just stay tuned and be patient. It's going to be quite juicy. I tell everybody, get your popcorn and your red wine. It's
Oh,
going to be
juicy.
as juicy as it was last season. You know, I'm going to see characters change and grow and come and go. And like I told
Right.
somebody the other day, I don't know who's the saints and who's the sinners no more, because it seems like we all killing somebody on that show. But it is it's
Absolutely.
a fun show to do, and
It
I'm
is.
really grateful to Bounce because they've allowed me to really shape this guy in a
Mm-hmm.
real manner, you know. And if I was,
Yes.
back in my day on NBC, CBS, NBC, which is grown. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about way back in the day, guys.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm talking about now has changed on a lot of
Mm-hmm.
levels. Not everything. We're still working with the Academy Awards to get them up to speed with people of color and women and transgender and everything else, but
Right.
that's
Yeah.
changing too.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I would not be able to play this guy back in the day on ABC or CBS. They would
Right.
have watered him down. They've
Right.
allowed me to really work this Rex Fisher character. So it's a
Yes.
testament of my training, because I'm just not like Rex Fisher in real life. I just
Right.
never, be so brutal.
Yes. Rex is a mess.
Rex
Yes.
is a piece of work.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Well, Mr. Powell, I just appreciate you so much.
Thank
And
you
I
so
mean,
much.
I could go on and on about how amazing I think that you are. I sincerely appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for taking time out to talk to me and the ICC friends today.
Thank
I
you.
just want to tell you, I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your gifts and your talents with us. And I just wish you many, many, many more years of continued success
Thank you.
and more roles so I can watch you some more, because you scared the mess out of me in Last OG.